Hey guys, so hopefully you enjoyed reading the story Marvin of the Great North Woods, where he goes to the logging camp in northern Minnesota and meets Jean-Louis and some of the other loggers. Hopefully you learned a little bit of French, like lève-toi means get up. Let's see where that is right here, where he says lève-toi, Jean-Louis. To get up. So he's telling him to get up. But that was a very interesting story about Marvin during the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918. So I thought that was really interesting that he was going through an epidemic as well. So it's based on a true story and very interesting to me. I did not think to read any of it to you last week on video, but I thought today I would introduce the story on the Pampas, our next story that we're going to read. And here are some Spanish words that you'll come across in the story on the Pampas. So this is page 284 in your reading book if you want to follow along. But here is a picture and some terms about gaucho clothes. A gaucho is a cowboy on the southern plains or Pampas of South America. Boladoras is what the gauchos used to catch ñandus and other animals. So kind of like a lasso type device. But they would throw it in such a way that these ends would wrap around the animals' legs, and they would be able to catch whatever they were hunting. And then we have a bombacha, loose gaucho pants, and you can see the picture. And then rastra is a gaucho belt made from a wide strip of leather decorated with silver coins. And the coins may have come from different countries, and some gauchos would even have their initials on the buckle to show, it was theirs. If you look at the bottom, you see the map of South America, the continent that is south of our continent, and down in the Argentina area, you'll see the Pampas, this greenish area. And here it tells you that Las Pampas are the very flat, almost treeless grasslands that stretch for hundreds of miles through central Argentina and Uruguay. Ranch animals live there year-round, even during winter, because their winter is pretty mild. And the estancia is just the name for the South American cattle ranch. So when you see estancia, it's talking about the ranch. Then asado, or asado, maybe is a little better pronunciation, is meat, usually beef, roasted outdoors over a fire. Hornero is a kind of oven bird. The nest looks like an oven, and it's built out of clay. And then here's the ñandu, which is a South American ostrich, the largest bird in the Americas. And it can run very fast. Then we have a rabanque, a short, wide strap made of rawhide used to lash cattle and horses. Then La Carlota's brand is just the brand they used in this story. It represents two crossed fencing swords, but they can also be called the scissors. And then recado is the gaucho saddle made of layers of leather and wood with sheepskin on the top. Looks pretty on the top. Looks fairly comfortable for a saddle. And then mate is a bitter greenish tea sipped through a silver straw called a bombilla, and through this hollow gourd. That would be a tea that they would drink. And then yegua madrina is the leading mare of a herd of horses that keeps the herds together. And you'll see she has a bell around her neck so that they can find her easily, and probably so the horses can hear her as well. So I'll read the first couple of pages of the story, and then I'll let you finish it on your own. I grew up in Argentina in South America. I lived with my family in the big city of Buenos Aires, but we spent our summers in the country at my grandparents' estancia. One summer, my parents and brother stayed in the city, so I went without them. My grandmother met me at the station in Buenos Aires, and we had breakfast as we rode through miles and miles of the flattest land in the world, the Pampas. All around us, as far as we could see, were fences, windmills, and millions of cattle grazing. Our station, San Enrique, was at the end of the line where the train tracks stopped. My grandfather was there to meet us in his pickup truck and take us the 5 miles to the estancia. The ranch was called La Carlota, and the gates were made of iron bars from a fort that had been on that very spot 100 years before. As we drove up to the gates, we were greeted by a cloud of dust and a thundering of hooves. It was my cousin, Susanita, on her horse. Susanita lived at the estancia all year round. She knew everything about horses, cows, and all the other animals that live on the Pampas. Even though she was 3 years younger than me, she had her own horse, La Baya. Susanita was so tiny she had to shinny up La Baya's leg to get on her back. But she rode so well that the gauchos called her La Gachita, the little gauchos. I didn't have a horse of my own, but old Salguero, the ranch foreman, brought me Pampita, a sweet-tempered mare to ride. She wasn't very fast, but she certainly was my friend. Susanita and I did everything together that summer. She was the one who showed me how to take care of the horses. We would brush their coats, trim their hooves, and braid their manes and tails. So as you can see, this story is a little similar to Marvin because Marvin left his home and went to the Great North Woods. And the main character in this story goes to visit her grandparents and her cousin in Buenos Aires. She lived in Buenos Aires, but she goes to San Enrique and to the estancia called La Carlota to visit with her family. So she has traveled to spend time away from home as well. So this is a really fun story about her summer spent at Las Pampas. So I hope you enjoy reading it.